Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Hadassah, how are you?
Hi, I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Good evening and welcome to Real Talk Corner. And this is the place where conversation sparks change and every voice matters. I'm your host, Dr. Esther Cruickshank. And tonight, my co host, Sadasa, will not be joining me. There might be a surprise if she can, but let me welcome each and every one of you to Real Talk Corner on this beautiful Tuesday. It is the 26th day in the month of August in the year 2025. And you know the time is flying away. We just started January, as far as I can't remember, we just started the month of January. But it's clear to me, according to the scriptures, that he is going to shorten the days for the elect's sake. All right, so I trust that you all had a wonderful weekend and that you had a great day today. We had some scattered showers and some sun in between. I know there's a lot happening in our country, but I'm always grateful to be breathing the breath of God in my lungs and to be amongst the living in the land of the living. Tonight we have a wonderful lineup, a very interesting topic, as we continue to talk about the African community in Trinidad and Tobago, and we started on Emancipation Day talking about being emancipated. What are we emancipated from? Are we truly emancipated? And tonight I have a special host that is going to join me shortly, and she's no stranger to Real Talk Corner. She's also a very gifted woman. She would tell you about herself. But we want to talk a little bit about education tonight, education and the African community. And some people may say we all have the same privilege, we all have the same benefits, but no, it's not. Because I always say without money or without faith in God, for some people, you cannot make it out here. And we know definitely that the African children, through the African families who, for whatever reason, didn't take up the challenge of really educating themselves, educating their children, and for as much as I know, do not have the finances to be able to be exposed to the best education in Trinidad and Tobago, have been left behind. But tonight we're going to be talking about a program, a phonics that is going to help us all with our children who are, lagging behind, who the Ministry of Education didn't see fit to probably do what is necessary, do their best to allow these children to come forward. It is sad, but it is a reality. A lot of our African children, and I'm not saying there isn't Indian children as well, but for the masses, it is the African children who are stayed behind, who are lagging behind, whether it's because of the situation at home, parental guidance, whether it is finances, whether there is no proper discipline, whatever it is, our African children in the masses have been left behind. And because of that, you have them bullying other children, you have them falling into a situation where they're influenced by the drug lords and those that make them feel wanted, because everybody wants to feel important and wants to feel wanted. All right? And these are the children who join the gangs, and it's easy for them to be influenced by those who bling on them, letting them know that there's a better life, come sell the drugs, hold a gun, shoot, kill somebody, all because they have not been exposed to the type of education that is needed for them. And I must say also, the former government never really took interest to ensure that our African little children was properly educated. They didn't see the benefit of investing to allow our children to be properly educated. And tonight, without further delay, I want to bring on the set a dear friend of mine, a long time friend, but she's also the producer and developer of what we call the IBG Phonics. And I'm talking about no other person than Mrs. Olive Reyes Clark, and she's going to tell you about herself, her long service as an educator, one who has been inspired to inspire others. And she's going to tell you about herself. She's going to give you testimonies of what her program has done in Trinidad and Tobago, and not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but across the globe. So without further ado, welcome Mrs. Olive Reyes Clark.
Hello. Oh, look like
Good. Now
yeah, but
hearing you.
oh,
We are
you're
now
not hearing
hearing
us.
you. Yes.
Right.
Go right ahead.
Good
Tell us
evening.
about
Good
yourself.
evening. How are you?
Good,
Well,
thanks.
I've been around for some time,
Yes, definitely.
but God
But
is
let
keeping
those
me
who have
very
known,
well.
those who doesn't know about you, tell them about yourself, and let's talk about
Yeah.
African in this country and education before we move on to what God has inspired you to do to inspire others.
Okay. Well, I am Oliver S. Clark, producer of IBG Educational Products, but I did it during my teaching career, which spanned over 22 years in the public service at both primary and secondary levels. I started at the primary school, then I went to teach at the secondary school, and in the exigencies of the service, I was sent back to the primary school. But I had the information of what is lacking, the problems that students encounter. So when I went back to the primary school, I was able to do something in order to liberate the natural intelligence in every child. So, Dr. Esther, we've been around for some time, some decades actually. And
That's right.
while God is keeping us very well,
I think Mrs. Olive Reyes Clark is having some internet difficulties because she is sticking there a little bit. I hope she will be able to adjust that situation. But while we wait on that, wait on her to come back on, Olive have been, like she said, she has been an educator. Excuse me, she has served in the Ministry of Education for a number of years. And she has been inspired when she have been teaching the children and realizing that they were not going forward, they were not progressing the way they ought to. And she came up with what we call the IBG Phonics. And she said it is inspired by God. And you know, without God, nothing is impossible, but with Him, all things are possible. So she is our guest tonight, and she is going to help me talk about education, reality of education, and the African community. Is she back on as yet? I think I need to message her and let her know what. Okay. So whilst we are waiting on her, tonight you can call us. We are taking calls tonight because it's a very interesting topic, and I think that some of you may want to ask questions, or you may want to throw a comment in, or you just have a suggestion, as the case may be. So the phone lines are going to be open tonight so that you all can call, you can message on WhatsApp, yes, and let us know what are your thoughts based on our conversation tonight. And really and truly, I must say, as a young person growing up, I recall as a child, it was difficult um, for me to acquire the type of education that others, my peers, would have been exposed to, because I grew up in a very poor family. You know, barely could buy your food to eat. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I have 7 siblings, and things was really tough. And some people may say, well, you know, if your parents should not have had so much children and all of that. I remember going to school, and my colleagues would wear slippers We wear whatever we had, one uniform, washing it every other day, washing the shirts every evening. My parents would do that, and as you get older, you have to do it yourself. But the good thing was that the teachers of those days were like parents. They were very understanding. They were very supportive. You understand? If they didn't see you come to school for a couple of days, they would come to your home because everything was within the community. You didn't have to go far. All right? If you do something bad, your parents get to know it in real time. We didn't have mobile phones. We didn't even have telephones. However, information came to your parents in real time like that. You wanted to know sometime before you reach home, your parents is aware of what you would have done that was not acceptable in the community. And it was a community thing. It's not like today you live in Rio Claro and you work in Port of Spain, your child going Port of Spain with you, and some parents are struggling even not far from their community. And today I really hope tonight that after listening to Ms. Rez that we are going to have a better understanding and will strive to do something that is going to help our children to reach their potential, their God-given potential. I think Ms. Rez is back on.
Internet doesn't give so much trouble.
Hello. Wow. I think she's having real difficulties. I don't know if she's hearing me at all, but her internet is really sticking. I don't know how we can help. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Adasa, how are you?
Hi. I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
And yes, we were talking about the difficulties in the African communities, whether we want to say otherwise. Finances has been, for most of it, finances has been the problem for a lot of our parents to send our children to school. In some cases, parents have not been managing their finances properly or have not been making their children's education priority. So there are different ideal situations based on the home and the family. Whatever it is, we have realized and seen that the African community, the African children, has been, lagging behind, have been influenced by influential persons who are probably not of good status in our community, where they get themselves involved with drugs and guns and all kind of illegal interference in their life. I think Ms. Clark is on, so sorry about all that is happening, but she's here. And like I said, we're talking about education and the African community. And Ms. Clark, I was just sharing, a lot of us, where the African people are concerned, it's either they didn't take their children's education as priority, or in some cases, they did not manage properly their finances. And we know in some cases they just didn't have the money. They may not have had a good job, as the case may be, and our children remains behind. What do you say as an educator over the years? Are you hearing me, Miss Clark?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. Did you heard what I said before?
Repeat, please. I heard a part and then we just get cut.
Oh, okay. Like I said, tonight we are focusing on the African children or African community and education. And I was just alluding to the facts that in our community, the African community, sometimes it is a matter of our parents not managing their funds in order to allow us to have a better education. In some cases, the parents just didn't have. In some cases, because of poverty, we would have been influenced by the gangs and different scenarios that allow our African boys and girls to go a path that they did not really receive proper education. And here we have a lot of our young men being killed, being involved in criminal activity, losing their lives at a young age because they have not been educated. Some of them don't know how to read, how to spell, and we know that that is a big deterrent when it comes to them coming up or stepping up and being a part of society. There are many factors that caused our children not to be educated, especially in the African community. What do you say? As an educator, what was your observance? What you had to deal with over the years when it comes to our African children?
Attend to the source of the problem. People think with a little plaster at the top it will go away. No, you need to go down and deal with historical problems. And all is not lost, but we need people who are sincere. We need people with the will, the desire to see a better Trinidad and Tobago. We have to go and meet the people where they are and deal with the situation. And we can start with the education system.
Okay, so I think again we have lost Ms. Olivares, so I don't know um, what what to tell her to do. Maybe producer, you can tell her that she needs to block off the calls that coming in. Yeah. So here we are. It is planned, and we want to hear what she has to say as an educator for more than 20 years, and also the producer and developer of the IBG Phonics. We really want her to give us an insight on what she think was some of the situation or the real problems that has caused the African community not to be as educated as they ought to be, not to be involved in society at a certain level, because a lot of our African children, and I'm not saying that they are not Indians and others who are in a situation where they were not properly educated, but the masses is in the African community. So you find that we want to find some solution, and we know one of the major solution is finances. And I said before, in some cases, the parents would not have managed their finances properly, or they did not take their children's education seriously and made it priority. There were other things. I know for a fact there are some African parents prefer to go and party and lime, drink, instead of bringing that money home to ensure that their children receive proper education. And it is unfortunate because those little boys and girls grow up to be nuisance, some of them nuisance in society. Some of us did well because I grew up in a very poverty-stricken home for a number of years. You know, there are certain things we didn't have access to. We were not able to do extra curricular, extra lessons. That wasn't part of our budget. Okay, but some of us, like myself, we persisted. We worked hard from children from 12 years old, working hard, selling stuff, helping out your parents, doing things that allow you at this point to be able to have your degree, go back to school. You know, we can do it here. Okay, we may not be able to see you, but we can listen to you. All right?
What about Zoom?
No, because you keep
Because other people
sticking.
trying to get in and they're not getting the connection.
Well, they have to call my number, which is on the screen.
I have to call your number. WhatsApp your number here?
Yeah, it's going to be on the screen. It is going to be on the screen. The number for them to call, because what they're doing when they're calling you, it is throwing off your internet and you are freezing. So what they have to do is call the number that they see on the screen, which is 782-6145, and they have to wait for you to ask them, about whatever you want to ask them with respect to IBG Phonics.
But they were trying to get in the program and they still here and they're not hearing anything.
Well, I don't have once they get on the link, they're going to be hearing us. But they shouldn't call your phone because that is creating a serious problem right now. We've never had this kind of problem on the live. Right? So let them.
Yes, I get a lot of phone calls just like this.
Yeah, you can. That is why you're freezing. So you're not able.
If I start over, we might get through. I will lock off my phone.
We are live. We are actually live. You're hearing everything live. But you need, your people who has testimony of the IBG Phonics needs to call, and all this is on live, 782-6145. You need to go into your settings and block the calls from coming in so that you can stay on the program and talk, and let them use the number. 6145. Let them look at the program. Go on to Real Talk Corner. They're going to see the number. All right?
Okay.
Right? So let them and let us have a conversation. And when they call in, I would connect them. Right? Real Talk Corner. They need to look for that and they're going to hear us live. All right? So try to come back on and let us.
I'll start over again then.
Yes. Let's take a break, people. We're going to be right back.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Adasa, how are you?
Hi. I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Adasa, how are you?
Hi. I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Adasa, how are you?
Hi. I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, and those of you viewers across the globe. We are having so much difficulties tonight with our guests, the internet, and persons who want to call in. Yes, we appreciate all of that, but please use the number that you are seeing on the screen to call into the program, 782-6145, and that number is on the screen presently. So please join the live on Facebook, Real Talk Corner, and of course, call the number that you are seeing advertising here, 782-6145. Miss Clark. Miss Clark is not yet here. Okay. Okay, so we would continue to chat, and for those who are viewing, if you have any comments, anything you want to talk about with respect to the African community and education in Trinidad and Tobago, you too can call or send a message to 782-6145. That number is 782-6145. Yes, so I recall as a child, it was very difficult, and things that we wanted to do, we could not have gotten it done because finances was a problem. My father was just a simple carpenter, and my mother was a housewife, and in those days we had a lot of housewife, and nothing is wrong with that because I always say a housewife is a whole job and a half by itself, to look after children, to cook, to clean, and to be effective in your home. It takes a lot, but we just didn't have the finances. However, as we grew older and we understand the importance of having a proper education, we would have gone on and privately and educated ourselves. But there are a lot who have not done that. There are those who are just settled to work in a fast food restaurant, as the case may be. And there's so many other things. Of course, there's place for those persons who are not properly educated and are able to serve in these areas. But mind you, now, even the fast food restaurants, you have to have, I think it's 5 or 3 subject, CXC as the case may be, to be able to get a job in those places. So it is important to get your education. Those who have not had the education, what you find is that they are on a block, they're in a gang, they're doing some illegal kind of stuff, they're getting themselves locked up, they're getting themselves killed, all because they are not properly educated to be able to achieve the goal that they probably dreamt about when they were younger. So education is the key. We see our Indian community brothers and sisters, how they are educating themselves. Their parents made so much sacrifice to ensure that their children were educated. And I have to go back to this because you see, I lived among the Indian people, and they will eat the rice, dal and bhaji, they will eat the koraili and sada roti, whatever the case may be, and they will put up their money for their children education. They worked in the cane fields, they worked hard. Those parents didn't party and live. They went out and work and come back and prepare for their children to go to school, make sure their clothes are washed, their food is there, whether it's just roti and roti. I told people we used to eat rice and butter, right? Because, the African community wasn't so much about the roti. You eat rice and butter, provision and butter, and that is how it went. But the Indian community, they ensured that they were making room for their children to be educated, and today you see the results of that. So I am asking the African community, the parents, forget the partying. There's a time when you can do that. I know of parents have their young children, 2, 3 years, they want to send them by this one and leave them home with the older sibling, as the case may be, to go and party, to go and lime and drink. No, your children's education is key, and it should be priority if we want to come out of where we are in society today. If we want to be counted worthy, we have to be educated. And now it is much harder than when we were younger, myself and others. It is so much more difficult, but it is a sacrifice that you have to make up your mind to make for your children, because the future is not about you, it's about your children, the next generation. We have lived our lives, we are in our 50s, 60s, 70s, as the case may be. We got to look after the younger ones and ensure that they have a proper education to come out of poverty that they are in today. Because too many, when I go in the thresholds, when I go into the areas that is stricken by poverty, it's so much of them are from the African community. And sometimes I see what they're doing. They have space in the land. They could plant a bodi, plant some koraili, plant some peppers and okras and so on. They're not doing that. What you all are doing is lying down and sleeping. Okay? You're sleeping. That is laziness, and you wouldn't get up and do something. Show your children how to work, and then what? We blame the Indian community. We have to stop that. We need to go ahead and work for our children and ensure that they have what is necessary to be properly educated and to become an upright, standing citizen in the future. Producer, what's happening here? Miss Clark? All right, so
Yes.
she is on. All right, so we may not be able to see Miss Clark, but we can hear her. All right, and I think, Miss Clark, I want to give you the opportunity, based on your years of being an educator in the Ministry of Education, with the Ministry of Education, and also being a producer and developer of the IBG Phonics. I want you to tell what is happening. I'm getting a feedback. Don't watch the live, please, because if you look at the live, we're going to get the feedback. All right, so you cannot look at the live. Take all the volume off, and you're just going to listen to me and be able to respond. So, based on your experience, especially with the African community, tell us what has been some of your experience and what has caused you to develop the IBG Phonics.
I must say, first of all, people are the same everywhere. They have basic needs that must be attended to. Okay, some are unable to attend for themselves, and that is why we have government in order to stabilize things. With my teaching experience, every child is a star. Every child is the same everywhere. Every child can be trained to become a very useful citizen. We have problems in certain areas. We call them hotspots. Yes, everybody label them quote unquote hotspots. They may call them vulnerable. And vulnerable communities, these need more attention than the others. And if you don't give it the attention, it will just hold it back to the development of Trinidad and Tobago. Because people are important. People are important. You can't just leave them to themselves. Of course, we have law and order, but we also have social services that the government, must apply
Yes.
to attend to the needs of our nation. As I said before, children will learn. As an educator, as I said before, a teacher at both primary and secondary schools, I saw the problem at the secondary schools, where you teach the children, of course they're intelligent. Every child is gifted with intelligence. They learn, they understand, but when you give them a test, they cannot respond. And we have some statistics that we send across to you. I hope you get it. For instance, at the Mobile Lavender Secondary School, that is a case in point. Now, I am talking in the 80s, but the project done, the one morning spent at the Mobile Lavender Secondary School was just before COVID. Okay, but I observed during my teaching career, they are intelligent, but they don't have the requisite literacy competence to respond properly. So a teacher at the Mobile Lavender Secondary School, for instance, she was disgusted with the situation. She heard about us. She spoke with me and asked me to come in. We went in one morning, okay, and we had about over 50 students. But on the statistics, you may see less than 50 because some of them decided they were so happy at the end of the introductory exercise, seeing that they really can read, spell, they can think, that they wanted to take their work home. So we don't have it to show. So we had over 50-something children, and we spent one morning with them with the IBG Phonics program, which I had put together, created during my teaching career, because I don't accept no.
Right.
You see, when you're doing a job, you're either part of the solution or part of the problem. I prefer to be on the solution.
Right.
Also, I value people. This is what Trinidad is lacking. People are extremely important. The most valuable resource is the human resource. And you hear day, night after night, day after day, you sit down listening to news and hear this one get killed, that one get killed. This is an indictment against our nation.
Yes.
People in charge must let others know, hey, everyone is important, and that is why Jesus came to die, even if there was one sinner on the earth. Redemption is necessary for everyone.
Yes.
So we cannot take people lightly. So this teacher, this is how she would give a test at the secondary level. She would read the question to the student. They would circle the answer. They couldn't go further than that. Is preschool.
Right.
So you're looking at children between the ages of 12 and 14. operating like 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. What have they done between that time that they get to the secondary school and when they were 5 years old? What has been done at the primary school where you have a good complement of teachers, you have somebody to argue for their salaries, to see that they are paid, you know, they have their union? Who is talking for these children? It is absolutely unnecessary. So we went there and we gave a diagnostic test because you want to quantify. You must quantify the work. You want to compare what they were before you did the introductory exercise to what they are after. So we did a test, and the easiest test, diagnostic test, was a spelling test. There you could judge some literacy competence in a very short time with the whole huge class, 50-something children.
Right.
But they became for 3 different classes. We did a diagnostic test, and then we proceeded. We were a little motivational talk, say, well, look, you have challenges, right? But we want to get this gem out of you, this genius that is in you, locked up. So what do you use for reading and spelling? They say the alphabet, the letters of the alphabet, the complete words. So I said, okay, well, let's go back and do it. So we did our first CD at the time. Now the work is on the platform. We did the CD for about 45 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes. And then we did a second test. But you don't know how to do it. The problem another problem, the good thing, the great feature, the characteristic great feature about our program is that we can handle en masse large amounts of students
Right.
at the same time. The program is so special that you can give individual attention in a classroom situation. And the classroom, as we did in these secondary, could go up to 60-something children. You could have 100 children once you have teachers to manage them. So a large amount of people being transformed at the same time.
Right.
You know, in education, they will say they need one-to-one. Yes, you need one-to-one, but when you have thousands to deal with, when will you finish one-to-one? So that is why our program is the solution.
Right.
It is the solution. So at this secondary, we had about 61 at one time. 61 students. They had over, we had 53. So we did the first CD at a time, which is just mastery of the alphabet. But the way it was done, it was to liberate the competence, the self-reliance of the children. They sat within that 45 minutes, the way it was done. We stressed on individualism. We are bringing out the gem in every child. You are a star. You are a star. You must understand that. I don't want you looking to the left nor to the right. Because, you know, with underperforming children, they move like a commune. For security, if you ask them like to spell one word, they'll be looking to see what the neighbor has finding out before. We didn't want this. So we gave every child his own chart, her own chart, alphabet chart we started with. And we did the work for 45 to 50 minutes. Then we did a second test. Listen, you talk about transformation. Every child was on his feet, her feet. Excitement, the teacher also. And you are starting with small words and you're building it up till they get to the word that is in their reading book. You know, so you're going to start small, but you're going to show them, you know, it is within you. You can get it together. Let's use your intelligence. Listen. These children were so excited. Some of them did not want to give up their work because they want to take home to their parents for the first time something successful. And I mean, why? We've been around for 31 years. 31 years. 31 years with the solution.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
Miss-
People 40 years and under should have benefited
Right.
from the program so that they understand that there is not only a genius, but that I am someone. These children who are indulging in crime, they don't know who they are. So the enemy is using them. And if we leave them to themselves, they're going to throw down the whole nation. All right?
Could you say, Ms. Clark, that government have done enough to support the children who needs this type of support. Could you say that? Especially the past regime. We now have the United National Congress in power, but would you say that under the PNM, they would have done enough to support the African community where education is concerned?
Well, they had a broad policy where we do one thing for everybody, but everybody doesn't have the same need. Everybody doesn't have the same need. So you have to go, and even this government must understand this also, that you have to deal with the problem.
But I want to know, and I believe this government is going to, but we want to talk because what we are encountering now.
I am glad that for this exposure I'm getting now, many people will know, and I gave David a testimony because I know we lose a lot of your time. But every child is a star. Every child can learn, every child will learn, and we must. The education system is the only right thing to change this nation. The Ministry of Education. Change, transformation of Trinidad and Tobago falls squarely. The incident of transformation falls squarely on Trinidad and Tobago. The Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Education must let teachers know you have to account for those before you. Now, we have the IBG Phonics program, and we're sure it will work. We give you guarantees that the children would learn 200 times faster. Of course, we tried getting to the other government and previous administrations, all the administrations, we've always had better response from the UNC government. They would hear you, they didn't do anything, but they heard us. Okay? I had meetings with Dr. Adishnanan, you know how long that was. Then even when this Prime Minister was Minister of Education, I wrote to her, she was on to Mr. David Tamku. He tried to get us in the last administration. Somehow, it didn't work. So we are going to start all over with this government and let them know they have no choice now. Look at where we are. For the past 8 months, we've been having state of emergency. You know, it's recurring over and over because we can't get a hold on the nation. School will be reopened soon. And last year, I happened to have been talking to principals because the former government said they were going to do something about the area with crime. And I was told to put in a proposal because you remember I was on your program when we talked about it.
Yes,
$100 million to deal with crime.
Right.
And we said, well, give to us. We're going to do something. So I got this call. We do a proposal. They have the money. We're going to get you. Listen, they had we got a call in February after September last year. The end of September, they said, well, we have located the funds, but up to now, they have not done anything. And I keep writing to the former Prime Minister, writing to the Minister of Education, and I'm telling them, God is watching because something must be done. And you know, withholding good from the children. Try the program, get it going. I guarantee you, we are right there to do the consultancy service to see that it works.
Good. Let's listen. We have one of your testimonies.
Not have the interest of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So I hope this government doesn't do the same thing.
Let's hope and really hope that something positive is going to happen with this government. But we have a testimony now, so let's play the testimony as our time is running out. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon. Where are you calling from?
Manzanilla.
Oh, yes, yeah. Manzanilla. Okay, good. How long since you have the program?
Last month.
You bought it in the month of May?
Yeah.
How soon after you started the program that you have been seeing improvement?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks. How old is the child?
9 and 4.
Oh, 2 children, 9 and 4.
Yeah.
Right, so you have the older child, 9 years old. The 9-year-old is in what class?
Standard 3.
Standard 3. Okay, let's hear the progress that you observed within 2 weeks.
Well, the 9-year-old, she could spell most of the words now.
What was her position before she got the program?
Well, she had done nothing. She can't spell on, she can't spell it, was, has, nothing.
Those simple words that she meets every day.
Yeah.
And in Standard 3?
Yeah.
Is she going to school every day?
Yeah, every day.
And couldn't spell those basic words?
No.
But within 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What do you observe?
And, well, For me, I feel real good about the program because it's helping the whole family.
Oh.
Even the little 4-year-old,
Yes.
she's spelling all the words in the alphabet.
On the alphabet chart?
Calf, boat, everything.
On the chart, on the alphabet chart? He can spell all those words already?
Yeah.
The 4-year-old.
Yeah, and she's singing the song. She liked the song too bad.
This is it. You see, it's very appealing to them. And let us hear about the 9-year-old with her reading.
Yeah, the 9-year-old, well, Saturday she told me, Mommy, this IBG thing
Yes?
She said good. It's fun and it's helping you to read plenty.
All right. So she's reading her standard 3 book?
Yeah, she reading standard 3 book.
Immediately?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm saying immediately because it is within a month.
Yeah.
She's reading the standard 3 book and her spelling.
Yeah, she could spell and plenty better now.
Very good. And she's more confident and excited about work?
Yeah.
She's more confident about her work?
Yeah, she's plenty more confident.
And
she wants to stay home at all. Every day she comes home, she wants to spell all the words that she make up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she wants to spell all.
Look at the interest.
Yeah.
Well, this is very good. And before, she liked school as much? Before you got the program?
She always liked school, but just she had a problem with the reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Reading and spelling.
Slow to her.
Huh?
She was very slow.
She was slow?
Yeah.
So she's faster now?
Yeah, and she said, Mommy, we have a test to do, and I doing real good in this test.
I love the confidence and the excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's looking out for the test now.
Yeah, she's looking out for it.
So you heard that at one.
Yes, we heard. Yes, and that is very impressive, and it is real.
In standard 3, couldn't spell it, couldn't spell words. She didn't have the confidence to spell those words. In less than a month of using the IBG Phonics program, she's looking forward to a test. She is reading. You're looking at reading, spelling. She was slow. The parents observe the transformation. She's no longer slow. She's excited. She's highly motivated. You would have just found the child.
Yes.
But let me tell you, Flora, you notice also the 4-year-old in the school, in the class, in the home, reading from the chart, spelling from the chart. So it is just pulling the intelligence out of the children. That's what the IBG educational products do. And I wonder why they keep preventing the children from getting what God has sent for them. This child, Dr. Esther, this child in particular, after that, she continued to come out first in test from nowhere. First in test. When she went to the secondary school, she was placed at Manzalena High School in Form 3. She was able to do mathematics, T-Tech math, and passes in Form 3. Now, if the parent didn't make the effort and get the program for this child, tell me what was going to become of her or not. And that is what is happening to the mass of those who are having problems.
So you are saying that the parents needs to invest in their child's education, because waiting on the government, there is no real guarantee. Well, we have seen it in the past. Now we are going to hope that this new government is going to look into, the IBG Phonics. Now I know there are a number of phonics, there are a number of programs that people try to introduce, but I can also testify about it because my daughter had used this as a child, and she was first and second. As a matter of fact, coming out of CXC was ones and twos. So I know for a fact that it has been a great help. It's like a teacher to the children, and they always want to keep playing it. Because I remember sometimes I would say, okay, that's enough. You had more than an hour. But it is so exciting for them that they keep jumping up and they just want to hear the music. So I had that experience with my daughter who used the IBG Phonics. So I am saying to parents, you can't wait. I talked about managing their finances and putting their children's education as priority. So even if the government is not doing it, parents, you got to do it, because if the African community needs to come out of the poverty line that we are in, education is one of the key. All right? You see it all over. And our African children, they are involved in criminal activities and all the different bad influences because they are not properly educated.
Well, listen, anything that is thriving, it is in the best environment.
Yes.
It is in the best environment. We have to change the environment, and it requires governmental
Yes,
input.
yes.
Policies must be made. And just as we are airing it here, and we can look, the former government did nothing about it, and the children just left. They slid away. And so this government must now do something, and that's why we put them in, to do something about it.
Yes.
It is not business as usual. I will be strident about this because we are losing too much of our children. We must place a value on human beings, and we must ask for value for the money being spent in education.
That's right.
Teachers too must be brought to pass. How these children can be sitting before you for a whole year and they cannot even read. And then they go up to secondary school and they cannot even. It's a joke. It's not a joke. We must be serious. Trinidad needs to get serious.
Yes. And the powers that be, especially those who are in authority to make this happen, I trust that they are hearing. They would hear if they're not hearing now, and they will do something. They must invest. Having the laptops is great, and we want them to have that because it's the way to go. But being able to read and to write and to understand, if you have a laptop and you can't understand your work, what sense does it make? So having the laptop and having an IBG Phonics at their fingertips is what is needed to see our children go forward.
We have a serious emergency in our hands that must be attended to with great urgency. We need to go to those vulnerable areas and start injecting positively.
Yes.
They need the IBG Phonics program, the primary school, the secondary school, and the preschool. Listen, we're going to overturn. You know, it was said that these impoverished communities are the nurseries of criminal conduct. I hate to repeat it, but it was said from on high. We can make these impoverished communities the nurseries for universities.
And that was said by the former Prime Minister.
Yeah, we can turn it around. We have to turn it around. This government must turn around this situation. It's not impossible. We have the solution. We are ready, willing, and able. Let us have a better Trinidad and today.
And the parents are going to be thankful to this government if they can put this forward with urgency.
God will be thankful to this government. God
right,
will
so we are hoping our time has gone, and I want.
My main thing is to deal with the human resource.
Okay, so our time has gone, Mrs. Clark, and you know, I was very happy to have you on because, like I said, this month we were concentrating on the African community and some of the things that needs to be done to help them come out of poverty. And one of it is having proper education. And also we are looking forward to this government really using, I know there are other things, but getting the IBG Phonics, test it and see. And I know a lot of us are aware, even in the Ministry of Education, we are aware that the IBG Phonics work for the children. It works, so why try to get other things when you already have something that has been tested and proven to help our children to do better? So we look forward to that, and one of the things I would suggest is that we get to those MPs in the rural areas, in Toko, Manzalina, you know, those rural areas where the children are really, really left behind. We need to get to the MPs who are in charge of those areas, Mrs. Clark, and introduce the IBG Phonics to them for the schools in those communities. We need to do that because I am seeing our children falling apart. They don't even want to go to school because there is no, you know what it is to be in a classroom and cannot read and spell, and other children are making fun of you. Your teacher's calling you up to read and you can't. You feel embarrassed, and then you have you feel intimidated, and then you really don't want to go to school. And when they stay at home, the scripture said, the devil finds work for idle hands to do. Then they are influenced by the gangsters and those who are pushing the drugs and whatever. And of course, they want money for food, and they go. That's right. So the education system has failed them, and now they are going to a system that they think is going to work for them. But at the end of it, they lose their lives so very early in life because of this situation that is confronting us with education, and more so for our African community. So I am saying tonight, those who have heard, those who were trying to get in and you were unable, you were unsuccessful, listen, you can call our number as well, because we would pass on the information to the Mrs. Rez Clark company. And Mrs. Clark, you can say your number that they can call you now.
Yes. They may call us at 725-READ.
725 read. 725 read.
7323.
Okay.
725 read. That's an easy one to remember.
725 read. And you can call and you'll be able to talk with Miss Clark. You'll be able to get your IBG Phonics. If your child is having problems with reading or don't want to attend school, this is an opportunity for you to buy an IBG Phonics for your child. And I want to believe that Mrs. Clark has what you call it, a part payment. So if you don't have all of the money, you can also, get involved in paying part, and they are going to tell you how much you can pay. They are going to work with you. Just call the number 725-REAL, and you would be able to talk if your child or children are having difficulties in school, do not want to go to school because they are unable to read, to spell, as the case may be. And we are doing this because we really, really want our children, our African community, to come out of poverty. Producer, I think I want to sponsor a child one of these IBG Phonics. So, I don't know how we can get a parent who really need a phonic. Their child is having problems. I want a parent to call in who, maybe not tonight, but on Thursday, you can still call. Call the number 7. What is our number again? 782-6145, 782-6145. You can message us, and we are going to sponsor one child going back out to school. If you have a child that is not reading properly, especially if it is a standard 3 child. We're looking for a standard 3 child. All right, so you have a child that is in standard 3 in the primary school, not reading. You are worried and concerned that just now they're going to be writing their what they call it now, C exam, SEA, C, and you are concerned. Please message or send a WhatsApp, call us, and we are going to do the needful by sponsoring one child who is in standard 3. Don't tell me they're in standard 2 and standard 1 or standard 4. They must be in standard 3, so they have 2 years to be able to become a genius and to pass to their first choice. So the time has gone, and we want to thank Mrs. Olive Clark Rez so much for being on this Real Talk Corner. I know we had a lot of challenges earlier on, but of course we're going to send this out to YouTube and other places. And if you hear, please call. Your child is in standard 3. Please call or message us. Let us know about this child. We're going to sponsor from Real Talk Corner. We will sponsor IBG Phonics, and we look forward to hearing about the great success. So at this point, we just want to let you know that it is real. We know there are many challenges, and we want you to be able to do something good for your child. And we hope that the Ministry of Education is hearing us. They're going to hear us if they're not hearing us, and they're going to do something about it. So again, I want to thank all of my viewers, and we have said it, you have heard it, and now it's up to you to do something about it. Until next time, which is Thursday, we're going to be right here at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on a very interesting topic. do not miss out Thursday night. We're going to have a very interesting person who is going to be talking to us about the African culture in Trinidad and Tobago. May God bless you all. Until next time, even to my co-host, I know she could not have made it on tonight, but I pray God's blessing upon each and every one of you. Have a great night. Be safe, people. Goodbye.